But then you could
fiat
create
value to them.
But you could create a pool. You create a wrapped version, and you could create a brand new pool.
From my understanding, until you actually bridge over something that's already had price discovery to move the price over onto Pulsechain, you're just doing ratio values. You're not
Exactly.
moving the price,
No, you're
let's
doing so,
say.
but that's exactly what you're doing on Pulsechain. Is you're taking something and you're bringing it there and saying there's a ratio, therefore this equates to that. But now you're relying on that wrapped asset, which has vulnerability since it's in the bridge. But yet, why wouldn't you take what isn't valuable yet and bridge it over and be able to do that?
Well, yeah, what I'm saying is, okay, a coin gets released. Somebody has to buy it to move the value. Until then, you're just trading coins on
But that's what you're
Pulsechain
doing. It. I
that
don't. I
have
don't
no
understand.
true
You're
price
always trading
discovery.
coins. There's no value in crypto until you get out. All you're doing is trading assets at a pair and a ratio. So if you made a ratio with Hex, right? If there's a pool in Hex at any pool, how do you think they do it with like Maxi or something? They create a pool. Someone takes coin A and coin B, puts it together, and creates a pool. So you could take coin A, aka DAI, USDC, Ethereum, and you could wrap over Pulsex and Pulsechain from Pulsechain into Ethereum as an ERC20 wrapped version, and then create a pool on Uniswap, and boom, that's the easiest way to purchase a token that's technically
why would
on.
anybody want to do that?
Yes, but these
Do something that stupid?
Well, yeah, but what you're asking the stupid people to do is one of the most complicated things, is to take their money and go through a bridge
I'm not asking
and
anybody.
pay all the ETH fees on the bridge, especially when it gets when it's going to get very, very congested. You're going to tell them the first experience they're going to have to Pulsechain is, yeah, pay that much.
I'm not telling
But don't
anybody
you
to
have
do
to
anything.
go through a bridge or a centralized exchange and trade your value, your real dollars for a coin to get onto that ecosystem to then start using that to give that
Yeah,
ecosystem
that's an
value?
option. But that's an option. But then there's the other option, which actually has more value associated to it. There's more value on the other side. On Ethereum, there's more value.
Yes, because those coins have all had price
So then
discovery
why
already.
wouldn't you take coins from your new ecosystem, which you all have every single copy of it? And why wouldn't the people who actually do that bring some over and pair it to the existing coins for adoption?
Oh, absolutely. I'm not saying they won't, but the coins in that ecosystem, that PRC ecosystem, have to have price discovery
But you
backed
could
by
have it through the
real
Ethereum
value.
pair. What I'm saying is that you can have it through the Ethereum pair.
Sure, either way. You could go either
Of
way
course.
with that. But what I'm saying is you need the price discovery backed by real dollars.
Of
Bitcoin
course,
used
of
to be
course,
a
of course, of
penny.
course. But
People bought it for a penny. Now they bought it for 70K. Now they
yeah,
buy.
but I'm not denying that. I'm obviously we all bought.
These
Obviously,
are
we're all
real
buying crypto with.
dollars.
Of course, we're all buying with our real dollars, but that's excluding. Once you're into crypto, your real dollars are non-existent until you get out.
Oh,
So
absolutely. Richard owns our real dollars, and the market will decide what the coin is worth. He don't have to put that into a liquidity pool. He can buy 1 billion Prada bags if he wants. That's his right. What
but
I'm
I'm not
saying
saying
is
that neither.
Yeah,
Do you
no
you have to
expect
put
expectation.
how
in
do you
more money.
expect to trade? How do you
More
expect to
money has
trade?
to get put in.
No, you don't have to put more in. You could just go and take what already exists and allocate so much to it as a PRC20 wrapped version on ETH. And you could just create price discovery with that ratio. It's easy as 1, 2, 3.
Right, but you have to have somebody that says this
Of course, but then how
PRC
are you gonna?
coin is
So then
worth
how are you
money.
assuming that? How are you assuming that you're going to be able to trade on Pulsex? Then someone has to create something, right?
Yes, but what Richard has created in Pulsex is a way for people to bring over already valued price discovery from other chains into the ecosystem with the value proposition that you're getting half for free. You're getting half coins for free that the market will decide if a chain link is worth the same as a chain link on ETH. But you have to bring over the real fiat currency over there or something that's already been valued over there to
No,
make the
that's not
chain
true.
valuable.
That's
Nope,
not true.
that's not true. I get it, famous. I hear you, man. I know what you're
That's not
saying.
true at all. Like we already have the coin, and if the value is just because of the ratio, well then you have to create a ratio to already has value. And instead of creating a more complicated step, a more riskier step, and your ecosystem will have even riskier value because of a wrapped asset that is giving the value. I've been through this 10 fucking times, man. At least. I can't even fucking remember all of them. I've done everything and I've realized all of their fucking mistakes was the same. The wrapped assets got fucking hacked because
Yeah,
they
I'm
were
not saying
worth
it
it
has to
more
be
on the
rap
other side.
famous. I'm not saying it has to be rap famous. I mean, obviously, Pulsechain is going to be listed on centralized exchanges. There's no doubt. So will Pulsex. So you could just buy it there if you want and bring it over, or a decentralized option. It will already be there, let's say on Uniswap or whatever. So you don't have to use a bridge. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you have to bring over that value, don't you? Like, because
No,
you
no.
have to back it with some sort of value.
ChangeNow.io.
Well, no, 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 no,
Yes, but you're
no.
trading
Wait, you're right. You're
fiat
right. You have to
currency on
back it. You have
Change.io
to back it.
for your Ethereum or your Pulse or
I
whatever it is
know.
your heart desires to buy.
Yeah, but you don't have to just bring it to Pulse Chain.
No, you can bring it out of Pulse Chain.
But that's what I'm saying. So
In
why
and
wouldn't
out,
we do
sure.
that? Why wouldn't
But
we
you
want that more?
but
What
once
are you
some
gonna do with the rap
well,
bullshit?
that's a personal choice. People will bring both ways. It's a personal choice. I've sold my crypto to live
Perfect.
how
So
I'm
let's
living
talk
now.
about
I
it
get
because it's a
that.
solution. It's a solution then. It's a
Right?
solution to a lot of problems that we face.
The
Convince them to
dumpers are the
bridge.
ones that are gonna are gonna bridge over to Ethereum. The ones that sacrifice way too much. They're the ones that are gonna do that because they want to get out and cash out. Let them.
Or
And they
maybe
can
they
cash
want to
out
hold.
even easier.
I like your strategy, but the only question I have is once the PLS and PLSX are in Uniswap as wrapped tokens, it will be easier for people to have exposure to them. But how do they take them back to the main chain?
The
They
same way
have to
you want to
bridge them,
bring the
right?
value in.
But your strategy is it's trying to help people to avoid the bridge in the first place, right?
No, it's helping people actually be able to purchase it with more coins, with more value. There would be much more money able to be put in the pools, much more better ratios, much more consistent early ratios, and not this type of fake value where then could just leave and at any point there's no more value on chain and then there's a problem. So we have
But
to
they
balance it because before the mistakes of the previous chains was everything was balanced on one way. Nothing was balanced on the other. If we look at Binance chain right now, it's very balanced. It's very balanced. Only their stable coin is in Ethereum.
but they still have to use a bridge to go back to the main
Of
chain.
course, but they had to. But everyone is only suggesting bringing the value through the bridge. The riskier version is to take what's valuable and put it in middlemen, and then taking something that isn't and saying it is valuable. Instead of taking what's not valuable, turning it into something that it already is, which is not valuable, and then giving it price parity on somewhere where most of the volume occurs on the decentralized aspect. Not only that, but you also have the potential of pairing it to the stablecoins. I'm actually hate that idea, but it's better for adoption at the beginning. And slowly but surely, you can trickle down and take all that value and create pairings. And then slowly take that because people would not only be getting the rewards of both sides, but they would be able to later on take all that value that's currently being very centralized and we would be able to bring it to Pulse Chain.
Yeah, actually, this is the best strategy I heard in a long time. This is a good idea.
People would want to hack something that is valuable. They're not going to go and hack something that apparently is valuable. So not only are you teaching the people like, hey, you could acquire whatever you want with any coin that you already have the potential of acquiring very easily. You don't have to trust the middleman because you're off of the middleman. You're in the ecosystem. You're on ETH, the number one place where the most volume occurs. Perfect. Now you can take the stable coin and purchase this wrapped version of it. Now, if you want to trade, you could just trade the wrapped version. Wonderful. It doesn't waste the utility. But then what you can do is say, okay, well, if you want to utilize the whole PRC20 and the Pulse Chain ecosystem, just go through the bridge. And then on the other side, you have the most valuable version of it, which makes it look better. Instead of doing the constant, hey, take what's valuable and bring it here because we're not valuable, and then let's make value. Let's suck the value. No. Why suck the value when you could just have it? It's right there. It's for the taking. You have so much. You could pair it to Hedron. You could pair it to Hex. to Ethereum to DAI to USDC, and you could have massive, immense liquidity pools where then people from other chains can also trade and do SHIB for PSHIB, SAND for PSAND, and then there you go, free marketing, free volume. You inherently dominate the whole ecosystem that is there for liquidity purposes, and next thing you know, your ecosystem just has PRC20s in it, flowing perfectly with no wrap value. Everything is decided by somewhere else, which is what we want anyway. So that much, and people are able to get that much and trade it, and you ended up getting ratios that, because of the stable coin, made it look like that ETH was worth $80,000.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's what's going to
Exactly.
happen on Pulsechain for a bit, where if we create a price, well, dependent on ratios, we could be seeing like $3 Pulse, but it's not really worth $3. It's because of those stable coins that create a value,
Exactly.
because it's like, well, if there's this much dollars, then this has to be worth this much due to that pairing compared to the stable coin. So the stable coins are going to give this like.
Yeah, so basically, let's say you bridge like 1,000 USDC over to Pulsechain. You see on Pulsechain a wrapped version of USDC, and you have 1,000 USDC on Pulsechain, but actually that could be worth $50.
It actually can get voided.
Yeah, and it can get voided.
It can
Exactly.
get voided. So what I wouldn't want someone to take $1,000. I would want that person, if you were gonna take $1,000 of USDC and pair it to Pulse or Pulsex or Hex, why wouldn't you just take your PRC20 and bring it to Ethereum and pair it? It makes no difference. It's you. In order to get to the one point, you have to do it. You just have to do either or.
And I guess many people will actually do that because
It's smarter.
at least in the first days, weeks, there won't be many options to off ramp. So you will need to bridge some assets over to Ethereum,
Well,
and then cash out if
the
you want
off
to.
ramping,
So
man, is off ramping is this term that people use. Okay, that to me makes no sense. Because if you have liquidity to USDC and you have liquidity to ETH, and if you have liquidity to Hex, which Hex has liquidity to both of those other two, then there's always off ramping. There's always the ability to get your money. It doesn't matter if you can off ramp with Pulse. It does in a larger scale if you want to get that like 250,000 users on your chain. Okay, I understand. But when you're talking about giving value and having liquidity and being able to swap between things and doing stuff on the ecosystem, you don't need an off ramp. You don't. It would be the stupidest thing to provide people with is an off ramp, because you're just giving them the option to stop doing stuff. And you want to give people the option to do more. And the option of being able to take the PRC20s and bringing them to ETH is the better option, even for liquidity providers. It's a better option. You know how much more people have USDC? It's a bear market, for fuck's sakes. Why would you it blows my mind how when I'm thinking of this, I'm like, there's no way in hell who would want to bridge in their coins into Pulsechain when you could take the coins from Pulsechain and bridge them out. Binance, you didn't have no coins on it. Phantom, you had no coins on it. AVAX, you had no coins on it. So you only had the ones that were created from whatever ecosystem. So like that, it's not Ghost. But those wouldn't want to bridge out their coins because you have to bridge it in because there's no value on chain. But for us, it's like, we have all the tokens. There's a lot of value. You just have to create a price. Just have to give a price to something. So if people take out their Pulse, like that's going to be very cool. Like the Pulsex sacrifice has the most DAI. It could be the most liquid DAI pair in Pulsex. It could take its Pulsex, bridge it back to Ethereum, create one of the biggest pairs to USDC.
that's brutal, man.
It's insane if you think about it.
Yeah.
It's actually insane, and it's free marketing, and it's the best because you're giving the opportunity to people to just come on your chain just with real PRC20s and not this wrapped token, which for me is worthless, because a wrapped token on chain is just as a wrapped token is useless. You could just utilize the PRC20 version of it, not the actual contract native version of it. So, but I really can't realize how it could give less value, because you're intrinsically have to take the same coin and give it value on the other side, but you're allowing people to create more risk and not trust. It's like you first have to make them trust the chain, and then they'll understand, and then they get what they want, instead of no, you don't have to trust the chain, just trust the fact that you're getting a version of this, and then if you want to, you could take this and come on the chain. It's a beautiful option that no one really had in the past, and we could, and if we were to maybe put that in notion and in motion, there could be a lot of coins, because the big coins have massive bags in the top 500 wallet.
You're onto something, on a right vein, but there is a deviation that you're missing. So if you look at ETH Fair and ETHW, because they weren't a fork moving forward that has the ability to be upgraded, the only way that the asset value can move forward is if you inject liquidity in there. If you take Pulse, regardless of any other asset, because the T-share exists in a forward-moving ecosystem, regardless of all the other community building dApps and utility around it, because the chain itself can evolve in parallel to upgrades to Ethereum, it does have value and does not have the externality of the mining asset in there, period. That's why it was the most important thing to move from BSC to actually Beacon and everything else for the fork. So because the T-share value can also fluctuate between the Ethereum side and the Pulse side, and because that binded value of immutable yield has the caret of carats, it's the sun. We are building two different Dyson spheres against them. But what you are saying is correct, because you could technically bridge out the other loosey-goosey assets and then trade them against the primary liquidity pools of Ethereum, which at this exact moment in time is the second largest pool next to BTC. So doing that, you can actually trade those values, and then by bonded hearts liquidity from either way, that bridging of trading actually could go back into the other circular loop back into Pulse chain. So you are onto something. So there is that reason, a different way to play the chessboard. But no, what you were saying is absolutely correct.
Amazing stuff, man.
My
Thanks.
pleasure, bro.